Hello, everybody. Everybody hear me? Let's give this a second to load. All right, I think she's loading now. All right. All right. Anybody out there hear me? If you can, give me a number 1. Hello, Jan. How you doing? Hippies Hive, how are you? Is the microphone working? Oh, one. Look at that. All right, everybody can hear me. All right, we're just going to give this a few minutes here and see if some more people pop on. I know I normally do these on Sunday. I'm going to try doing them on Saturday. Sundays have been a little busy, so we're going to try to switch it up a little and see if Sunday night's a little bit better, maybe for a lot of people. Hello, Donna. How you doing? Carrie, how are you? Thank you for coming in tonight. Give this a little bit longer here. Moldy Shoulder, how are you? From Iowa. How are you? It's going pretty good. It's Saturday night. Unfortunately, as the weatherman puts it, it's breezy out. It's downright windy outside right now here in Florida. Gary, you're from Georgia. How you doing? All right, man. Cold kicked in my butt today. What's the temperature there in Iowa today? Is it pretty chilly up there? Today's first day of spring, so the days are numbered. Hey, JT, how you doing? Computer problems. Yeah, tell me about it. I don't know what's going on. It's between computer problems, internet problems, Wi-Fi problems, you name it. I think we have it down here in Florida. All right. Sunny and probably in the 50s. Well, that's not too bad. Could be worse, but you got good weather coming. Jan, you're having problems here. Maybe it has something to do with all the weather and these storms and stuff. Because it just seems like the last 24, 48 hours, everything's been a little bit crazy. So after this past winter, it rocks. 50 degrees, yeah, I can imagine. You guys had some pretty nasty weather up that way this year. Jan, it got up to the mid-60s here, but it was windy today, huh? We finally got some sunshine in Arkansas, so I spent the day in the garden. There you go. It's getting to be that time of year. Today, if the sun was out, it's been kind of cloudy. The clouds have been blowing in off the ocean. But if the sun was out, you're in the sun, it kind of felt good, even though it was, just downright windy. But Um, you know, very windy here too. Yes, JT, I'm sure it was. I was down your way this morning. Had to go to Walmart, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. All right, we're going to give this about another minute, and then we're going to get going here. All right, hippies high, Jan. March winds, yes. Went to Vieira, JT. I like the Vieira store. Every time I go in there, I can get everything I want. That place has always seemed like it's stocked, but I was also there. I left the house at, I don't know, about 6:30, I think it was. So I was there nice and early and everything else. But okay, let me just go back through, make sure I got everybody here. We're up to 12 people. We're going to give us about another 45 seconds, and then we're going to get going on today's topic. Hope everybody's been doing well. Sorry I didn't have a live stream last week. We just had so much stuff going on. It was just nuts. And so that's why I've tried to change it up a little bit between work and then trying to get stuff done on the weekend and everything else. Trying to do videos and, all the other things that have to get done. It's just not enough time in the day, if you know what I'm saying. Sandy, Maine, how you doing? 60s and finally sunny in Missouri. Oh, there you go. It's first day of spring. Okay. All right, so today's video, as you probably saw, was Walmart, and it was on the technology breakdown. Is it just getting overloaded, or is what's going on? Now, the reason I'm doing this video is to try to bring a little bit of awareness. Back on, I'm trying to remember the date. Oh, what was the date? What was the date? Stick with me here, my mind's going. On March 10th, I published a video, pros and cons to technology. Now, the reason I'm bringing this video up is it has to do with that video and what is going on. We placed an order for Walmart delivery. Now, it was coming from a different store than the one I went to. And what a fiasco that was. We placed the order on Friday, actually Thursday night. We placed the order for delivery on Friday between 4 and 5. No big deal, So about 4 o'clock, I get notified that our order's running late. Okay, no big deal. And about 6 o'clock, I called and tried to figure out what was going on with my order. And the gentleman on the phone explained to me that they had a nationwide computer malfunction earlier that day, and it threw their whole systems off. So he said that my order would be delivered at a later time in the evening. So I said, okay. So they usually stop delivering between 7 and 8 o'clock at night. That's the last time you usually can pick a delivery. For you that don't know that, or can use that type of feature. So at 7:15, I called again because I knew by 8 o'clock is their cutoff. And they explained to me that the whole system was a total disaster and they were wanted to reschedule for the following morning, Saturday morning between 8 and 9, which I said, okay, that's fine. So they turn around at 9:15 that night. Now we were getting ready to go to bed, 9:15 on Friday night. We get a message that our order is on its way. And we see the little car. For you that don't know, it pops up and it shows a map, and then you can follow the car right to your house. Well, the car ends up like 2 blocks away from me. I tried calling the person because there's a phone number on there, so that you can contact them. It says contact your driver. Nobody answered, of course. And Walmart didn't notify me. You can't get a hold of anybody at the Walmart store you order from. You can't do anything. So I got in the car because we waited for like 45 minutes. It was almost 10 o'clock. Still no order, but it still showed it was out for delivery. So we ended up calling and we just canceled the order. I told my wife, just cancel the order and I'll go to Walmart first thing in the morning. I'll go to the Viera store and I'll just go do all the shopping. So where the story is going is, and it goes along with the video I did, is the fact of the matter is technology is a beautiful thing when it works. And that's what I was trying to get across in the video that I did on the pros and cons. The pros to the whole Walmart thing is, it's a great feature. You can order the groceries and have it delivered right to you. And the cons is lately, over the last few weeks, they've had nothing but problems. And I'm wondering if the systems are starting to get overloaded from the amount of people that are using the internet, the technology, all these different services that are being offered out there. Can they withstand what is being pushed to them from all us consumers? Now, we all depend on technology. We all, for the most part, in one way, shape, or form, you have some type of technology that you use. Either it's your cell phone, your handy dandy little cell phone, or it's a computer, it's a laptop, it's a notebook, it's your TV, all that kind of stuff, whatever it may be, it all has to do with technology nowadays. And what the problem being is we're so dependent on it. What happens when it stops? You kind of go in a panic. It's like, like last night. Well, my biggest thing was, where's my beer? But, where's the groceries and stuff? We didn't want somebody leaving the stuff outside, and we go to bed because Lord knows they probably would do that, and Walmart didn't even send anything out to any of its customers to let them know that there was a problem, an issue, that they were working on it. It was fixed. Your order's going to be delayed. Do you want to reschedule now? Nothing. But they send you messages all the time, hey, this, that, or they'll send you a text message, an email, and everything else. But something major, there's nothing. Silence. Why? But the point of this is really, when we're so, what's the word I want to use? When we're so involved and hooked on the technology that is out there that we use, what are we going to do if something happens and the technology isn't there? Do you know how to function? Can you legitimately still live your life and still be able to get by? A lot of people out there, if they had to make change nowadays, forget it. If the computer doesn't tell them how much change to give you, they don't know. They can't figure it out. They can't figure it out in their heads. We've created over the years, I don't want to sound mean or anything, but we're creating dumb people because the technology is doing everything for us and we're not doing anything anymore but relying on the technology. So what really happens when it goes down? What happens if there is a grid down situation? What happens if a massive hurricane does come through and wipes everything out and you have to function without anything? If you have no way of contacting someone, if you have no way of doing anything, you have nothing, do you know your way around? Do you know how to get out of harm's way? Do you have a map? Do you have a plan in place in case, it's great if you want to make a plan and you put it on your computer, your tablet, your phone, or whatever else. But what happens if those things are dead, or you can't, you uploaded the stuff to the cloud because that's what everybody wants to do now, to save space on their computers and phones and everything else. But if you can't access it, it's worthless. I mean, I think we really, as a society, should take a step back and really look at how much we depend on technology. Now, as a creator, I depend on the technology for doing videos, for editing all my videos, for uploading videos, doing live streams, joining live streams, all that kind of stuff. I depend on that. Without that, I won't be here, There are ways that I guess you probably could try to get around it, but, in general, if the system's down, the system's down. Down here in Florida, the last few 2 or 3 days, the whole internet thing has just been a little haywire. The Wi-Fi will go out, or, if you're watching, even though you're hardwired in TV and stuff, it breaks up, it gets scattered like there's sunspots or something. But I don't know if that's really affecting anything at this point in time right now. That's usually in the summertime. Your TV down here will start getting, all fuzzy and breaking up, and tiling is what they call it. So, there's just so much. And I was just really curious, if the system's getting overloaded. Of course, nobody's going to tell us that, but what would happen if all of a sudden the internet itself went down? Imagine all the people out there that would just be freaking out if just the internet. We're not talking cell phones or anything else, but if the internet did ever crash or just shut down because it's too overloaded. You got so many people, school kids are still on it, college kids, people are still working from home, the whole 9 yards. It's a pretty scary thought. And when we really sit back and we start thinking about what is going on and what we really use, and how would you get around not having any type of technology? Could you function? Now, I'm sure if you're older like me, or a little bit older or whatever, it'd be easier for you to fall back on your roots and how you were brought up and everything else, and you'd be just fine. But for new or young people that are out there, like my kids, if technology was completely gone out of their lives, I'm sure that they would probably just freak right out, But I think for a lot of us, the whole situation, I don't know if it would be more of a blessing sometimes. Just to have peace and quiet, because, you always find yourself on your phone. You always find yourself, on the computer, on the internet, doing something, researching something, or looking up recipes. In my house, I got more cookbooks and recipes than you can shake a stick at, but we still, to this day, if you want to know how to cook something or want to make something different, you Google it. I've probably got about 20 cookbooks. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but you get my point here. We're so used to, you can just pick your phone up while you're standing in the kitchen and just Google how to make whatever, and it's right there. Instead of going over, picking up one of those old cookbooks and opening it up and flipping through the pages and seeing, oh, there you go, But that's what the whole idea about this is. I just wonder if, with what's coming down the pike, coming soon, it just makes me wonder about some things. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's coming, and it just seems like every day there's something new. Every day something different and changes, and I just don't think it's going to be a very easygoing time in the near future if things go the way that some of the scientists and stuff are talking about. And I'm not even talking about the pandemic. We're not even talking about that. I have a video coming out Monday morning. It'll be out at 6 a.m. And I would suggest a lot of people really take a good look and watch that one. I will tell you now, yes, it is almost a 20-minute video, and I apologize for that, but I had a lot of stuff to cover. And then at 8 o'clock on Monday morning on the Weather Channel, they're going to be covering the same topic that I'm covering. So there's some stuff coming down the pike, and I think it bears paying attention to. At least put it on the front burner in your brain and think about it. But make sure you catch that video on Monday morning. It'll be out at 6 a.m. All right, let me get over here in the chat and see who else is here. Okay. Sweet Liberty, how are you doing? All of Florida Walmarts. Yes, I definitely do agree. Sweet Liberty, I'm in Florida yesterday. Walmart's online groceries orders weren't accessible for hours. They couldn't shop the groceries. Yep. When I went to the store this morning, I was talking with somebody in there, and I asked them, and that's what they were telling me, that everything went down. They were having problems with the front end, with some of the registers for a period of time. They only had like 2 or 3 that were running, and the rest of them were all down. So I guess it was a big mess. So something must have happened to their system. Jan, people overloading Walmart online with stimulus money. Yes, there you go. I really wonder what they're really buying with that stimulus money. If they're buying what they're supposed to be buying, okay. But if they're in there and they're trying to buy big screen TVs and everything that they don't need, I don't agree with that. We don't have, Sandy Man, we don't have delivery options out here in the woods. Well, I'll tell you what, I'd take that over what I have. JT, I don't like technology, and I don't want someone else selecting my stuff. I check for dents, expiration dates, bruises, etc. Yes, I've been pretty fortunate on not getting dented canned goods, and the dates seem to be pretty good. Although when I did go today, I did buy some more canned goods and stuff because I was there. And I do agree, if you're going to be doing a nice big, say you take some of your stimulus money and you're going to do some stocking up, I would suggest you do it yourself. And this way here, like JT said, you're looking for dents, expiration dates, bruises, anything like that, because sometimes you never know. That's not cool. They actually delivered my order. Hippie's Hive says they actually delivered her order halfway across town. It's ridiculous. Wow. Holy cow. That's just a little bit off. I tell you what. I mean, mine, it showed they were 2 blocks away, and I drove around, and there was nobody even out here delivering. Yeah, well, me and the wife, we've been discussing about just going back to going to the store and just driving to Viera because we like that store. That's where we used to shop when we lived down that way. Now I live in more towards Titusville. So the stores up here are just ridiculous. A lot of people, Susan Williams, a lot of people will be lost. Yes, they will. People would panic. You're correct, Donna. Susan Williams, yes. Map and compass. Yes, there you go. That's what I like to hear. I mean, because when this thing isn't working, I mean, yeah, this is great for, you need to find your way around or whatever when it's working. When technology is working, this will work. But when it's not working, what are you going to do if you got to get out of harm's way? And a lot of people don't know how to read a map or a compass. It's not that difficult, but you'd be surprised on the people that don't know north, south, east, and west and how to look at a map and just the basic knowledges on how to read a map. I'm not talking about diving into, knowing all your different ranges and your elevations and what the different lines and everything else and all the different markers that are on the maps and everything else, trails and class 4 roads and so on and so forth. Just your basic interstates and major highways that you probably know because you travel them. We also don't know anyone's phone number, and you are so correct. You are so correct. I'm guilty of that. I don't know. I know my cell phone number and I know my wife's cell phone number. That's it. Everybody else couldn't tell you. It's all on my phone. I probably should take and make myself a little address book like I used to have years ago and put everybody's name and number in it. This way, if there's something happens, I have it. That's probably a good idea, a good thing to do. Jan, I grew up here. I know every little peak trail and possum run like the back of my hand. That's a beautiful thing. You probably could walk it with your eyes closed, I bet. Not work unless home phone. Hey, Montana Grizzly. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you, man. It's springtime. How's the weather up there in Montana? JT, I'm boring. You're not boring. The whopping $3,000 in stimulus checks cost each of us $69,000. Check the figures for spending the trillions of dollars. Jan, Gates got his billions of bailout. Oh, I'm sure. And before long, if he has his way, we'll be eating grasshoppers and earthworms and everything else, and there won't be any more meat. Not me, but that's his plan. It really is. I mean, he wants to do away with so-called any meat products and replace it with bugs and insects and worms and things of that nature. And he already has the facilities and the scientists working on that. And more farmland, seed companies to stick it to us. U.S. and future generations are going to be taxed to death. Yes, I agree, JT. They are my kids, my grandkids. It's sometimes I get a bad feeling in my stomach what they're going to go through when they get to be my age. You could write them on your handy dandy notebook. That way you won't get ruined in the rain. Yes, I would. And I have one of those right there. I keep those things around. I keep all the important notes in those things because that way if they get wet or anything else, I ain't got to worry about it. Montana, it snowed today. Well, happy spring, Montana Grizzly. Hi. Kind of figured that. His bug meat farms and cockroach diaries. Yep. Yeah, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button for me. I'd really appreciate that. That helps me out a lot. Jeffrey, how you doing? Hello from Joplin, Missouri. Nice. Thank you for joining in today. I'm glad to see you here. So if anybody's got any questions or anything, just put them in all caps, and this way I can see them and I can pick them out really good and throw them out there. JT, I'm not eating bugs or lab grown food. And I agree there. I mean, it is really amazing what some of these billionaires think they can get away with, and what they have quote planned for us U.S. citizens, or citizens of the world, I should say, because they want to change the way everybody eats and thinks and what we do. You're not going to have to rely on the government anymore to take away any of your privacies or take away anything of your rights or anything, because these billionaires are going to do it for you. And the government, they're not going to step in, because then technically, if you think about it, folks, technically, they're not the ones that are taking away your rights. The billionaires are. You don't have the rights to, they want to do what they way with all cattle and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So you won't have rights to have your own cattle. You're going to have your rights to their food. That's what they're looking for. Their rules, their regulations, I mean, they control everything that we do, say, anything like that. If you think about it right now, if as somebody just on YouTube, just watching videos, you don't really you don't understand and get the whole logistics of what goes into this. But as a creator, putting out the videos and the live streams and everything else, and I'm sure Alaskan Prepper could tell you this, or Survival Living, those guys they're in the same boat as I am. We're all in the same boat. You have to be so careful, and you have to watch what you say and the way you say it and everything else. And it's just ridiculous, because sometimes you're not really saying anything wrong, but it's society thinks that you're saying something wrong. And unfortunately, all it takes is one person to complain, and you did a bad thing or said a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? But meanwhile, say you had a channel, you had 100,000 subscribers, and they all loved it. But you had that one person that complained or reported you, and what do they want to do? They want to take down your video or ban you, give you a strike, and you get 3 strikes, But I don't want to get going on all that. But that's just where we're headed, Dr. Seuss. Do I need to say any more? Oh. All right, let me get back in the chat here. My Alaskan Malamutes love snow and took me for an extra long walk. Well, I'm sure, yeah, I'm sure they love it. You kidding me? They're out there in their glory. Nope, nope, nope. Krylon 103 112. Hey, how you doing? Fire coverage area is 75 square miles, so at 3 a.m. I would not be able to find my way around to most places. Wow. Jan, I don't know how to use GPS. Jan, you don't need GPS. You know those woods like the back of your hand. You'd be gone before anybody else. I'll be eating like a queen for at least 2 weeks. JT, exactly. Guaranteed they'll be eating prime beef. Yep. They won't be eating the stuff they're going to be feeding us. No, that ain't going to happen. They're not going to turn around and they're not going to do that. I want to see him sit down and eat a big old hamburger that's made out of some bug guts or whatever it is and see how he likes it. I guess, although the old saying is you put enough ketchup on anything and it tastes good, right? I don't know, folks. But it's a scary thought of what is their plans for our future. Did you all hear about what's going on with SpaceX, which is right here in my backyard, and Elon Musk with all his satellites that he's putting up there? Now I forget how many he's got up there now. Um, there's a ton of them up there, and the problem is by the time he's done with his little project, because he wants to control. Well, here, let me be fair. He wants to offer everyone in the world good quality internet service. Okay? He wants to put 42,000 of these low Earth satellites up in the sky. All right? Now, the low Earth orbiting satellites are between 2 and 600 miles or 2 and 400, somewhere in there. All right. So they're right above, once they break through, they're right there. They're in low Earth or orbit. All right. The problem is all these scientists and stuff all over the world now that are trying to locate any type of like a quote asteroid or anything that could strike our planet or anything or come close, they're having a problem finding these things because these things are reflecting the sunlight back down to Earth. So they were already started to take and change, I guess, the new satellites that are going up so they don't reflect. But there's already thousands of them up there, and some of them have already died. All right, they can't control them, and they keep saying that that they can control and move these things out of the way so that they're not colliding with each other or colliding with anything else up there. I don't know. It's just pretty weird, but it's, the way he makes it sound, which is all fine and dandy, I guess, but I mean, you might as well just, why beat around the bush? You want to take total control of the whole internet service. You're not taking control of the internet, but you're taking control of how we get the internet, because he wants to get it to where everybody is going to have to go through him, especially anybody that lives outside of a major city. So there's a lot of land out there, folks, across this great country of ours and across this world where there is like nobody, and there's no towers, there's no telephone lines, there's no lines, there's no nothing. There's people that live out where, they may have electricity and they might have a phone line, but that's it. They don't have cable. They have to have satellite. So the way he's getting all these people is, here's how he's getting everybody. Now, he just started up the service. It's in beta testing, which means it's a new service. They're going to be working out the kinks and everything else, but you still have to pay for the service. All right. The service is $99 a month. Now, it's guaranteed to be better than what the quality of your cable internet or anything else is. This is what they say. All right. The kicker is the satellite dish that you have to get, you don't rent it. You have to buy it from him at $500 a pop. Think about that. Who's going to be making billions? Now, they say when this whole system is all said and done, which if he does get it completed, because there's a lot of different scientists and everything else are trying to get the FCC involved to stop him from putting up 42,000 satellites into the sky in low Earth orbit. But if they don't, I think they said by 2050, he will be bringing in some ungodly figure like between 50 and $75 billion a year in revenue just off his internet service. You won't even need the cars anymore or SpaceX. I mean, unreal. That's what I'm saying. All these big billionaires. They just think they can do whatever they want. They can control everything. All right, let me get back in the chat here and stop. Sorry, I was chatting. Shoot, I don't have the firepower to reach that high. Good one, Jan. Carolyn, I picked up 25-gallon buckets, 6 for sugar and 4 or 5 flour. Going out of business sale. Wow, that's a good one. So in December 2019 to January 2020, when I was involved with a woman, but I reached they did just fine. All 3 of your dogs are rescued from abused people. Montana, I agree. I hate animal abuse too. I think whatever these people do to these animals, I don't know what you see up there or what goes on up in Montana, but down here in Florida, you hear it all the time. And I'm a firm believer, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. If somebody abuses a dog, that's like, I think it was a week ago or something. JT, you might have saw it on the news if you watch the local news. But this chick over in Orlando, she picked up this German Shepherd, and it was a week or two ago, and threw it over the railing of the motel room she was staying in. Now, they took the dog from her, they arrested her and everything else, but my opinion, they should have just picked her up and threw her right over the railing. It's good for the goose is good for the gander. That's what I was taught. JT, I agree. The weather is nice December through March, but after that, the temperatures start climbing until it reaches brutal. And I've never seen any Malamutes down here either. My ex-wife hit my dog. That to me was grounds for divorce. I agree with you, she should have been thrown over the rail. Yep, that's what I said. Just toss her right over the rail. Yeah, it was on the news, JT. I want to say it happened not this past week, but the week before. So 2 weeks ago. Somewhere over in Orlando, some chick in a hotel room, and she picked up her 1-year-old German Shepherd, I think it was, and threw him right over the railing before the 2 cops could grab her, to grab the dog. And evidently the dog ended up being okay. And he has been, somebody adopted him. I think it was a wounded warrior vet, I believe it was, that adopted the dog. So it had a good ending, but what should have never been, Okay, what's closing? So Jeffrey, you do rescue cats? There's a lot of people that are into. I've got quite a few people on my route that I deliver on, and they do that. They rescue to try to keep them out of and find them homes to keep them out of the shelters and all this kind of stuff. Because sometimes if the dogs are in there for too long or whatever, then they put them down. The animals themselves, dogs, cats, whatever. So they try to help out and try to find these people. Find these animals homes with people that really need them. I have one husband and wife. They have several dogs. I don't know if they have any cats or not. I know they have dogs because I deliver all the dog food. And they try to find soldiers or anything like that have PTSD and all those type of things. And they try to hook them up with one of these animals to help them out, you know. And I think if it's going to a vet, a soldier vet, they donate the dogs to them. They don't have to pay for them as long as they're. I do believe that they go and check out the living conditions, so they just don't give it to anybody. They actually do their homework and go and look and see where they're putting their animal before they release the animal to go there, which I think is a good idea. Yeah, Krylon, it's so bad that the stores, that store is closing. There's so many that are closing and everything else, but um, you know, at least you're getting some good deals, and maybe you're getting some good preps. I mean, that's a good thing. It's a bad thing on the situation end of it that we're going on, but I threatened to divorce mine for yelling at her sweet talk. I think it would be great if you could do a video or a live stream about canning a meal such as beef stew or something else. Well, I'll have to work on that. I don't know how it would go with a live stream, but I could probably figure out a video. I'll have to work on that one. Be alright back. Got to lock up the chickens before dark. Oh yeah. You start by abusing insects and it moves to animals and eventually you abuse people like they did in the concentration camps, Soviet and Chinese prison camps. Yeah, I think it starts at a young age. I mean, if you start off by abusing animals when you're young, no matter what it may be, you're probably just going to continue doing that right on through your life. I think you hit the nail on the head there. Unfortunately, and nowadays a lot of parents just don't step in and do the right thing. They're more eager just to let the kids do whatever they want. Nowadays, kids don't know what the word no means. And, unfortunately, it's a sad world we live in. It really is. You know, um, I got whipped by my dad once. That's all it took. After that, nope. All my mother had to say was, I'm telling your father. And that you would usually straighten me right up. I don't know about anything else, but that worked in my family. Of course, my dad was a pretty big guy too, so let me just go back through here real quick because my chat jumps on me. It's like I'll be reading something and all of a sudden it just jumps, and then I find myself missing stuff. It's like I know you could control, like if you had a lot of people chiming in and stuff, how fast they can chime in. This way you have a chance to read it. But it'd be nice if you had your cursor on that comment, that's where it stays. But sometimes all of a sudden it just jumps and you don't even know where the heck you went. And it gets annoying, Sadly, as the economy continues to collapse, there will be more dog abuse, more domestic violence, and more child abuse. And I would probably have to say you're probably right. As much as I hate to really admit that, it's just the whole thing. I even talked to our squirrels and geckos. Hey, I miss my squirrels. Where we used to live over towards Vieira there, we had the squirrels in the backyard all the time. I loved sitting out there watching them. Now, sometimes they were annoying and, but I mean, they were comical to watch, and our little geckos, we call them critters, you know. Um, They're fun to watch. I'm sure your channel would grow if you did a video about canning a meal, making things simple for people. I've been thinking about doing some more, getting in doing some cooking videos, but only not cooking on a regular stove, using your emergency backup stuff, your stoves, ovens, whatever it may be, because I have all that kind of stuff and that I've been cooking on for years. And to show people that it can be done, what kind of, pots and pans are good to use, and just make basic, good, solid meals that will get you through, you know. Nothing fancy, no filet mignon and lobster and this kind of stuff, although I could do that. But, with what you have in your preps. So we'd start off the video kind of like, okay, a storm or something. I've been pondering this. So you guys kind of let me know. So a storm hit, say a hurricane. I live in a hurricane area, so that's what I plan for. So I need to make something to eat. Power's out. I have electric stove, so that's already shot. So I go into my preps. I go in there and I have to figure out what I can cook with my preps. And we can throw something together, cook it together, and there we go. We'll have food to eat. And we don't go hungry even though the power's out. That's the whole point of being a prepper. Is one, you have food, you have water, you have supplies, you have some way to cook if you cannot cook in your home, and everybody's happy. If everybody has a full belly, even in a bad situation, they're going to be a lot happier than if they don't and everybody's starving. Well, I don't want to be in that situation because I get, what's the word? Angry, hungry. When I get hungry, I'm not a lovely person to be around. Ninth, Manchu, do you believe that the U.S. will experience an economic collapse within the next 2 years? Do I believe that? I think something's coming down the pike. I mean, let's just face it. Unless we really get back to more normal really quick, we're forking out another $2 trillion. Is pushing us at, right at 30 trillion. Because we were at 27.7 before this $2 trillion. So, right around $30 trillion. And how long can the government handle just keep printing money before a financial collapse? Do I think it'll be as bad as something of the Great Depression era? Well, you have to really look at something on that one, is the amount of people that are alive now compared to then. You're talking millions and millions more people. So that's millions and millions of more people that are out of work, don't have money, no food to eat, no water to drink, no roof over their head. And if the government is already in a collapse, let's say, how the hell are they going to help? That's why it's so important, because there's just too many unknowns. So as a prepper, I would say, whether it does or it doesn't, you got to plan to be ready. You got to make sure that you have stuff to get by. And the more space that you have available to yourself and to put your preps, the more you can prep, the longer you can be prepared. Instead of 2 weeks, it could be a month, it could be 3 months, it could be 6 months, it could be a year. But you have to have some place to put all this food, folks. And supplies. You just can't throw it into, like here in Florida, you can't store a lot of stuff in your garage. Not food-based products or emergency supplies as far as first aid. You can't store it out there, especially maybe in December and January, you might get away with it. But the rest of the year, You know, your garage is like an oven. You can make cookies out there in the summertime. So you can't store stuff out there because it's going to go bad. And if you live up north, you have just the opposite effect. You don't want everything freezing. So, you know, it doesn't matter where you live, you have to deal with one of the situations here. You know, there's really no happy medium. And, you know, but you're going to have to be prepared because Lord only knows what could happen within the next 2 years. That would be great. So it would be good practice for people who know how to do things and great for beginners to do so they could be proficient. Well, the more you practice, you know, I mean, at any of your survival gear or anything to do with your survival products or just basic survival, if you run test runs and everything else, the better you get, the more efficient you'll be, the better calm you'll be in that type of emergency situation. I mean, look at even the fire departments and every place else. They always run these, you know, drills on, well, we had a mass casualty, you know, and it's all mocked up and everything, but they run drills, you know. JT, yep, I agree. I can 14-quart of pork stew this week. I use a beef stew recipe and use pork to clean out the freezer. Oh, hey, there you go. I know we've been talking about maybe looking into if I can find one, a chest freezer, a small one. I don't want a large one. I want something I can put in the house. Keep up with the current economies, mortgage rates, cost of living, price of food, low wages. It's insane. Yes, it is insane. It's a crying shame what's going on and what's happening. I know in my own family, you know, I mean, some of the stuff that's been taking place it just blows my mind. I just don't get it. I don't understand it. You know, it is what it is because we can't change it. We just get to live through it. Pork stew is delicious. I add cabbage and sweet potatoes along with the other ingredients when I make mine. Never had pork stew, but what's the difference? Old bloke, hey, how you doing? Nice to see you, sir. Use it for benefits, but I have backup. Have it here a while back where the hackers trashed the system of one of our biggest trucking companies, Mayhem. Yep, totally agree. So the whole stream. Can you buy, say, Kroger freeze-dried bananas from the store, put in Mylar bags and O2 absorbers, and they'll be fine for years? I guess if they're freeze-dried, you're going to repack them and put in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, and they'll be fine for years. I know I dehydrate vegetables. I've been doing dehydrating videos and stuff, and I put mine in just mason jars, and I have a vacuum sealer that is attached right to my vacuum sealer. And by what everything that I've read and researched, those will last for 15 years. So I don't see why they wouldn't last. You know, as long as you get all the oxygen out. The oxygen is your biggest, in any foodborne product, oxygen is your number one threat. So if you get that out, I don't see why it wouldn't last. Court system said it was unconstitutional to stop evictions. Yeah. I tell you, that's a good one. Well, Costco has small freezers on sale. Well, they do here in Montana. Well, if I send you the money, will you buy one and ship it to me? Oh, I made pork roast on Thursday. Pork is my favorite meat. Got lots left over. Make stew. Yes, I go to JT when I buy pork and stuff. I like getting, especially pork chops. The center cut pork chops from Aldi's are by far, I think, the best. We went there on Friday. I had the day off from work, and we went there on Friday, and we bought, I don't know, like 6 or 7 packs of them. And I got a lot of vacuum sealing I got to do tomorrow. I've got that. We bought some ground sirloin. We got I think there's a leg of lamb. We got a couple of corned beefs. Then today at Walmart, because Walmart, the only thing that it's still staying the same price at Walmart is the chicken breast. Can somebody please explain this to me? Everything else is slowly going up, but chicken breast, through the whole pandemic, through everything, is the only thing that has stayed $1.99 a pound for the family pack. Now, what is in that chicken? I'm beginning to wonder if it's not experimental chicken from Bill Gates. What do you all think? Because it's the only thing at Walmart that hasn't gone up. Think about it. I don't know. I bought some today. It tastes like chicken. And you know the old saying, oh, you ever had gator? Yeah, it tastes like chicken. You had rattlesnake, tastes like chicken. You have turtle, tastes like chicken. Everything tastes like chicken. Maybe that's how they're going to get us. It's all going to taste like chicken. I figured it out, folks. I've cracked Bill Gates's code. It all tastes like chicken. Here we go. It's the best chicken too. Waiting for the new Aldi to open almost in our backyard. Oh, you're getting the new one. Ours is right up here on in Rockledge. Well, that's the one we go to. There's another one close by, but I don't like that one. And we go to the one in Rockledge right now, and yeah, they have really, really good. Their chicken goes quick there. Clone chicken. I'm telling you. The big question is why Bill Gates now owns the most farmland in the U.S. I want my family to buy more land. Well, he's buying up all the farmland so that no one can have farm animals and no one can farm, period. Because as we were talking earlier, I don't know if you were in the stream or not at that time, but he is one of the biggest guys he's inventing all these bugs and worms and critters and whatever else. He's doing away with all the meat products and everything, and we're going to be eating bugs. And he's going to make it taste just like the meat did. Go figure. But you think about it. If he buys up all the farmland, and if he buys up, all of it, as it keeps coming out, and he buys thousands and thousands and thousands of acres, well, the government's not going to say anything to him, for one, because he's so rich, and for two, this way here, you can't buy the land. You can't plant your fields. You can't have farm animals. You get to live by Bill Gates's rules. So if you have a chance to buy land, or if you already own your land, keep it, because somebody's coming for it for one of these days. And don't fall for the old, they'll give you double the price, because once it's gone, I don't know, it might be pretty hard to find more land. Down here in Florida, forget it. The price of land down here, they can have it. Once I retire, I'm looking to go somewhere else where maybe I don't need a lot of land. Give me 5-10 acres and I'd be perfectly happy. JC, I go to the one in Rockledge too. Yep. Yeah, they just remodeled that one too. Walmart could have pre-bought a ton of chicken. A rotisserie selling at Costco is still $4.99. They have Costco. We each been there with my ex-girlfriend. Aldi's has the best pork chops. Yes, they do. All farm bugs. Well, hey, that's another Jan. I think you might hit something on the head right there. That could be what he's doing. He's got all the lands. He can grow all the bugs and grubs and worms and everything else that he wants to put into our dinner. We have 3 more phone calls this week wanting to buy more property. I'm not selling. Yeah, Gates owns more farmland in the U.S. than anyone else. Gates is also buying up seed companies and turning the production to GMO seeds. Well, yeah, they want to make everything that, so this way here we can't, you know, you can't harvest from one year and use seeds from that harvest to go next, you know, and this way here they control what kind of seeds we have, and Lord only knows what they're genetic modified with. Yeah, don't sell your land. Forget that, Jan. Forget it. Exactly. Oh, look at the time. Wow, we're already an hour and 5 minutes in. All right, well, let's get this wrapped up a little bit. I want to thank everybody for joining in the live stream. I apologize again for missing one last week. I want to thank everybody for watching my videos and everything else and helping me spread the word to get the word out there. Share the videos, share them with your friends and family, or especially if you have friends or family that are going through decision-making time with their stimulus money. If you really think that they need help or anything like that, share some of my videos, just to help get them started and pointed in the right direction. That's what I'm all about. I just want to try to make sure that people are just on the up and up. I want to be point blank with people, and we all need to do our part to be prepared. I'm telling you, folks, there's a lot of stuff that's coming down the pike. Don't forget to watch my video. I've got 3 videos coming out this week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And but the Monday one is very, very important. And that one there is on some stuff that's coming down the pike, and you're going to start hearing about it in the news. And when you're doing the research, it's a little bit scary. It's a little bit, I don't see it so scary for me. I worry more for my kids and my family and everything, that it's just things are just going the wrong direction. So now is not the time to let your guard down. Now is the time to be preparing. Now is the time to be going through all your stock and seeing what you have, what you need to top off, and what you need to do, especially if you've already received your stimulus money. Do not blow it. Like I said in my video, even if you just take a small portion of that stimulus money, and if you have to pay bills and everything else, I totally understand that, but don't go out and spend it on, big screen TVs, new phones, and clothes and shoes and all this kind of crap, because when the shit hits the fan, that's not going to save you. What's going to save you is the preps that you've done and the hard work that you put in to making your preps, to being prepared, to making sure that you and your family have food, water, you have emergency supplies, you have alternative ways to cook. If you have to leave, you have gear and everything else for that type of situation, because you just never know nowadays what to expect from day to day. We don't know. I mean, there was an earthquake. Did anybody know there was an earthquake in Japan today? It was a 7.0 right off the shore. I mean, everything, in any given moment, something majorly could happen. And it's just a moment away, really, if you think about it. So everybody stay safe. There'll be a fun video coming out on Wednesday. Now, that video there, everybody just watch. It's just a fun video. It's on me and my family and stuff over the years, camping, fishing trips, lakes, and mountains, and everything else. It's just a fun video with a little bit of music. There's a lot of pictures and videos. It's like a 6 or 7 minute video, but it's just fun, just to take everybody's, I wanted to get everybody's mind cleared for at least 6 or 7 minutes, where you're not thinking about something, you're just watching something, maybe getting some good laughs, or just maybe you're going to be what's the word I want? My mind just went blank. I hate getting old. I really do. But anyways, this way here takes your mind off of it and makes you think about the past times you had with maybe your friends, family, loved ones. And it's just a fun video. And that one comes out on Wednesday. So until then, everybody stay safe. I'm Survival Preparedness for Beginners. Thank you for joining me today. I'll see you next Saturday at 7 p.m. We're going to try to stick to this. And until then, I will catch you all on the flip side.